Okay, first time say all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bashim, Al-Shai, Bashim, Kakadash. Give double honor to others, apostle and teacher, the great millstone from my learning truth. I'll say shalom to the hopeful elect of Israel. And I'm going to center this on the topic of how when everything goes on, it's going to be too late for our people to, to try to turn over a new leaf. And yeah, I think it was the other Menat Zagba put up a video of this woman that was pretty much talking about how she's catching on to the feeling of how things are changing. And she was a Judite. Things are no longer in her favor. And you have the majority of Americans, to a certain degree, especially like you got a lot of niggas on TikTok that talk about this, but you have a lot of people that feel that same way. And you have this movie, Menace to Society. I probably only ever seen this movie like once in my life, but I heard a lot of people talk about it. But this scene in particular, brother had brought up in this video, and after I think the main character here, his name is Kane, and he ended up dying because of some nigga shit, acting like a nigga. He stomped out somebody's cousin, I think, and they ended up getting back at him at the end of the movie. And I think it was his ghost that was narrating this, talking about how he regretted what he did, but it was too late because his life was already gone. But you have a lot of, the majority of our people are going to feel the same way. And even now, because you have a lot of niggas that engage in gang culture. They may get sent to prison, but they'll realize that they'll realize too late that they fucked up. All that tough gang shit doesn't mean anything. When they end up getting in prison or end up, like George Floyd screaming, "I can't breathe," all that regret and all of those warnings start to flow back to their mind. If they've been told not to act a certain way, not to do certain things, but they didn't want to listen, and this is the result of those actions. But they're now at the point of no return when they can't go back. When they've been given so many warnings. And once again, the same thing with our people and the people as a whole. Because you have all of these things gradually, but not so gradually building up. And when it comes to these different events of the birth pains and when a woman is going through a birth pain or she's going through with that birth, she can't hold back that birth. She has no choice but to go through with that birth. But, she has no choice but to bite down, grin and bear it, and take the pain of that child coming through the matrix. That matrix. And everything that comes with that. Like with the birth pain, right? She can't stop a birth pain. It's going to happen whether, she wanted to or not. And she has to deal with it. Same thing with these prophecies, right? All these things are going to happen. And it's like, you seen in the gym where you got like this skinny nigga that try to fucking ego lift or some shit, or some nigga that might have absolutely no idea what he's doing. He'll try to bench press like a couple plates, like 2 or 3 plates, but it's too much. And no matter how much he tries to push up, his arms that weight just keeps pushing down, and his arms keeps getting lower and lower. And no matter how much he squirms to try to worm his way out of it, that bar continues to make its way closer to the guy's chest. Same thing with these prophecies. There's no going back. And the only way that guy is alleviated from that is if somebody helps him up. And Yahweh Shai is the only one that's going to be able to help us. All the rest of our people, they're all going to have to drown. And even with drowning, I came close to drowning one time. There was a nigga that was nearby. I pulled myself up on his ass. But if there was nobody that was that was around, I would have been fucking dead. And you go into the case of drowning, like you can't swim. There's absolutely nothing you can fucking do. Quicksand, another example. The more you struggle, the worse it gets. There's absolutely nothing you can fucking do. All of your niggas are going to be dying around you, and you are going to be powerless. It's an inside joke from this nigga on his YouTube channel, but that's a real thing. Our people are going to be powerless, and things like you have the Passover tonight. These are all of these are us who engage in this, who believe in the Lord in truth and sincerity. All of these are ways that we try to curry favor with the Yahweh Shemal Shah, because he's the one who's bringing all this. This isn't, all these things aren't just crazy phenomena. He's bringing all this. But I'm just gonna skim through this, not really trying to play the whole thing.
Some money for this king, for real. Yo, what's up now, partner?
Now, once again, there was nothing Guy could do to save himself. Nobody else was coming to the nigga's rescue. He had to sit there and he had to take that shit.
Damn, Sharif. What happened, man?
All you niggas, that's how the black women feel about you, by the way. Push your dead body to the side and kept it moving.
Get some fucking help! Shit! Get the fuck out of here! Fight. Just fucking me up again. Come on, baby. After stomping my little cousin like that, I knew I was gonna have to deal with that fool someday. Damn. I never thought he'd come back like this. Blasting. Like I said, it was funny like that in the hood sometimes. I mean, you never knew what was gonna happen or when. I had done too much to turn back, and I'd done too much to go on.
And I'm gonna keep going.
I guess in the end, it all catches up with you. My grandpa asked me one time if I care whether I live or die. Yeah, I do.
And what? Two things. He said in the end, I guess it all catches up with you. And does he care if he lives or if he dies? The vast majority of our people, they claim to not care whether they live or whether they die until they're at their last moments. All the wicked niggas in the world, but mainly no message to our people. They believe in YOLO, living. They're young once, and they only live once, so they're going to live it up. To the highest. They're going to go above and beyond as much as they can. They're going to live as much as they can. They're going to see as much as they can. But like bro said, it all catches up with you in the end. And this is what our people are going to have to learn the hard way. Because even with us as a people, everything that's going on in America is a result of our own wickedness catching up with us in the end. And this is Romans 10 and 21. Because once again, the message is continually going out. Because when all of this shit goes down, there's going to be no going back. That's why, we sound like a broken record to people. Not only do they not want to hear the message, but the same thing is being repeated over and over again. But there's a reason for that. You know, for example, let's take sexual intercourse, right? Diseases are going nuts, especially among the niggas. You got diseases that you can't get rid of, my nigga. That H-bomb, that almond joy, if you know what an almond joy candy bar looks like, the big herpes, right? Some shit, I know there's some other shit you can't get rid of. AIDS, but they got like treatments for that and shit. But all throughout your schooling, all throughout life, at least when I was a kid, like I don't really see too much advertisement about it now. You have commercials all over the place talking about, wear protection, wear protection. Why? It's because the fucking consequences that can come with sexual intercourse. Having a child that you're not prepared for. Which, once again, there's a treatment for that, and it's called abortion. It's called these different types of contraceptives. But I use STD because, once again, like, you can take back a child. You can take back a childbirth. Get an abortion, contraceptives, right? You can't take back certain STDs. There's no going back. And the same when the economy collapses, there's going to be no fucking going back. You're going to have to take that, and you're going to have to fucking live with it. It's Romans 10:21. But to Israel, he said all the day long, I've stretched forth my hand unto a disobedient and gainsaying people. And how the Lord doing that? Through his men. The message is constantly going out, not only through his men, but you have niggas in the world who are parroting the things that we say. The things that we say are being reflected in your physical realm. For example, price increases. See, a lot of people don't get that. Trump say that inflation is, this 25% tax increase is going to bring temporary inflation. But they seem to forget the fact that inflation was already rising before this shit happened. Inflation was already going to fucking happen. This is just a stack on top of it. And there's going to be no going back. Just like that Judite woman said. And you can hear it in her voice. She realized that something was fucked up and that there was no going back. That things are permanently changing and there's no remedy for it. You got in Jeremiah, the Lord talks about how how do you say it? How there's going to be no healing for America, no healing for Babylon. This, like, once again, and the message is continually going out because that's how drastic and how dire this situation that our people find themselves are in. Because when the lights go out, you're not going to be able to go to other people for help. You're not going to be able to call the police. You're not going to be able to rewind time and go back to the so-called good old days. Our people didn't want to listen. They didn't want to get on board the spiritual ark. And that's another thing with Noah and the ark, right? What happened? He was giving off the message for 120 years. People were talking shit. People were ignoring him. And then what happened? Niggas started fucking dying when that water dropped. It had never rained before. It mentioned a dew appeared on the ground, which is pretty much like a mist. And that's how things got watered. But it never like straight up rained before, like with drops of water. But when that happened, and it was called to remembrance that in people's minds that Noah said that would happen. Imagine the type of terror and the regret and the agony that they felt, knowing that we've all felt that feeling, that drop in the pit of our stomach when we realize we fucked up. Well, are people gonna feel that times a million? Because what? It's not like you fucked up with your credit or you made a mistake with a credit card. People are going to know that their lives are going to be fucking forfeit and that there are men that were giving them the warning to hedge themselves against the coming destruction. And just like with that clip, that was, if I'm not mistaken, that was the Spirit speaking, how he realized he fucked up. But he said there was no going back. Just like with that big H-bomb, if you fuck up, there's no going back from that shit. You have to stick with that shit for the rest of your existence. Just with this, once again, when the Lord actually closes up the spiritual ark he's not going to go back. Niggas are going to start fucking dropping left and right, and you people are going to be assed out without any fucking help. And you think it's all fun and games now. Some people actually start to realize, oh, they might be fucked. But the vast majority of our people still think that it's fun and games because you don't have angels tearing niggas in half. But once again, our people are going to have to learn through pain. Like the scriptures say, they're going to know that, well, then shall they know their prophet's been among them. But second, they just make sure they'll have to know through death by pain. But Proverbs 1 and 22. How long, you simple ones, read love simplicity, and the scorners delight in the scorning, and fools hate knowledge. Turn you at my reproof. Behold, I will pour out my spirit unto you. I will make known my words unto you. Because I have called and ye have refused. You know, especially with the Yahushai, the Lord called by his prophets. The Lord, he's always dealt with through conduits. You know, Lord himself, he deals through Yahushai. Yahushai gives a message to the angels, and they know there's a whole ranking order. It all goes on to his men. You know, he gives visions to people as well, but as far as preaching his word, giving a warning, that's he deals with his men through his men. You know, just like when you go into the Bible, it talks about a government. You know, like it's an ordered government. Just like how in your secular government, your worldly government, you have people that, you know, they give messages from their leaders, from higher ups. You have a manager and you have an assistant manager. The assistant manager, the manager, they oversee everything. Meanwhile, the assistant manager takes orders from the manager. Go here and do this and do that. And then they have their people under them. A lot of people, our people, they don't seem to think that the Heavenly Father ordained actual. And like, you want to know the fucked up part about that shit? Is that they'll look at a nigga in the church, you know, they'll look at a pastor or a preacher and they'll call him a man sent from God. But us, they don't think that we're sent from the Heavenly Father. That's something that just dawned on me. Our people have more respect for a fucking pastor and will say that he's a man of God, but they don't look at us like that. But you know, even when you go into like Yahushua, it talks about how there's no comeliness that we may desire him, and pretty much he didn't come looking like Brad Pitt. You know, as far as like physical features, but also you know, with his ministry, there weren't any gimmicks. You know, he gave you the straight, narrow, straight, skinny. There were no other auxiliary items that will entice people to join. You know, like what things he said, it actually inflamed people. You know, it offended people. And you know, just thinking about that is like, what when you go into the brothers mention how if Yahushua was walked in the flesh in the earth today, what group would he be in? Just going off of that fact, if I once again, he didn't use a ton of like fancy gimmicks. Like, you know, did he perform miracles? Yes. And like, I'm sure those may have been flashy, but as far as like walking around in like big flashy shining garments, which he could do, you know, he didn't do that. They talked about how he came humble. You know, he was humble. So when you parallel that, which group today is is humble in appearance? You know, which group gives you the straight skinny? Which group inflames people by the words that they say that's given from the Bible? That isn't with a ton of fucking fancy gimmicks. Which group is that? We already know. Just a little interesting tidbit there. Telling you in my reproof, behold, I already read that. Because I have called and ye have refused, I have stretched forth my hand, and no man regarded. But ye have said, no, all my counsel, and with none of my reproof. I will also laugh at your calamity, I will mock when your fear cometh. When fear cometh as a desolation, and your destruction cometh as a whirlwind, when distress and anguish shall come upon you, then shall they call upon me, but I will not answer. They shall seek me early, but they shall not find me. So once again, it's going to come a time when our people are going to get that feeling in the pit of their stomach, and they're going to say, oh shit, we may have actually fucked up. Let's go over here and call on God, but where is God going to be? He's going to be in the same place where he was during slavery. He was sitting back and watching as our people were getting their asses handed to him. And what were they doing? They were praying, swing low, sweet chariot. But what was going on? Nothing was going on. They continued to get their asses handed to him. But once again, like there's prepping won't do anything. All of your money is not going to do anything either. The only thing that's going to be able to save us is Yahweh Bashim Al-Shai. But hey, the message can't be stressed enough, because when all this shit actually happens, then that's when people are actually going to want to hear the word. That's when niggas are going to. Hey, the pandemic is a prime example of that. Bibles are flying off the shelves. People were wondering what the fuck is going on. You have various brothers that were talking about how they were getting calls from family members, or friends or family members that they may not have heard from in years, or people that they knew that heard the message, but that put it to the side, and they were asking what was going on. But when everything went back to so-called normal, everybody dropped their Bibles. They went back to being demons. But what happened during the pandemic? That's when people wanted to know what was going on. That's when people wanted to hear the words of the Heavenly Father. But now that things are so-called normal, which they're really not, but not everybody is back out and about. All that desire to hear the word of the Lord, all that's gone, because people are no longer in trouble. But that just goes to show you the mindset of people is how they look at the Heavenly Father as a complete 110% last resort. And in all honesty, they really don't give a fuck about the Heavenly Father. So, like the Lord said, He's going to return that same sentiment to all of you pieces of shit. But I hope it's edifying. So y'all praise the glory and how about Shema Shah, about Shema Kadash. Good double honor to elders, apostle, teacher, at Minnesota, I learn the truth. Show on to hopefully like Israel, instruction bell on Great America.